for the effectiveness of board of directors,
sustainability of business,
importance of ethics and corporate brand,
roles and responsibilities of chartered secretary,
and for all that you need to know about the principles and practices of corporate governance.
Join the conversation at Corporate Governance Platform,
showing on MITV UHF 43 and channel 255 on DSTV on Thursdays from 4:30 p.m. to 5 p.m.
Corporate Governance Platform, proudly brought to you by the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria.
ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals.
Hello and thanks for joining Corporate Governance Platform. Corporate Governance Platform is proudly brought to you by the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals. And we are transmitting live from MITV Lagos, your family station. I'm Dr. Tunde Odeyemi. And on the show today, we'll be having conversation on the ICSAN 47th Annual Conference and Dinner. And of course, to tell us everything about the conference is a very distinguished fellow of ICSAN, Mrs. Nkechi Anyimah. Mrs. Nkechi Anyimah, FCIS, is a legal and governance practitioner with over 25 years of active corporate and commercial law experience. She is a chartered governance practitioner with the Corporate Governance Institute in the United Kingdom, certified IFC ICSAN trainer, facilitator, certified life coach, and the founding principal partner of Anyimah and Associates Legal Practitioners, a business law firm located in the commercial city of Lagos, Nigeria, and focused on providing effective board governance, management, corporate governance and compliance trainings, corporate secretarial and regulatory advisory services, legal corporate advisory services that reflect the highest global standard of quality in all its practice areas. In recognition of her vast knowledge and experience in business, corporate law and corporate governance, Mrs. Anyimah sits on the board of corporate entities as non-executive independent director. She is a fellow of ICSAN and has served as the 10th chairman of ICSAN Lagos State Chapter. She has also served on various ICSAN committees, including vice chairman, conference, and AGM planning committee. Mrs. Anyimah is also an associate of the Chartered Governance Institute, United Kingdom, member of the International Bar Association, member of the Nigerian Bar Association, and member of the Energy Institute, United Kingdom. She is a graduate of University of Lagos and has an MBA from the Metropolitan School of Business and Management, United Kingdom. She was an awardee of our Indigenous State Scholarship during her college years and as a recipient of the ExxonMobil Scholarship during her undergraduate law school years. Mrs. Anyimah is passionate about the advocacy of the rights of women and children, particularly the girl child. Mrs. Anyimah, it's nice to have you on Corporate Governance Platform.
Thank you, Doctor, and good afternoon, viewers.
Yeah, I'm particularly delighted because we are coming to discuss conference matters. Yes. And I think it's what every member of ICSAN look up to. And everything that we need to know about the conference, we are going to unveil it. I will start this conversation by asking you, what really is the theme of this year's ICSAN annual conference?
Okay. Before I go ahead to mention the theme directly, I want to use this opportunity to invite formally our viewers and all those who are also listening on behalf of our president and the chairman of the Governing Council, Mrs. Fumi Ekundayo, FCIS. I formally invite you to our 47th Annual Conference and Dinner, hosted by ICSAN, the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria. And this coming conference is going to be on Thursday, the 21st of September, and Friday, the 22nd of September, 2023. It's going to hold at the Shell Hall Museum Center in Lagos. And as you asked, the theme of this conference is sound governance as a cursor of a thriving economy, a case for inclusiveness. And we are going to have as our chairman of the conference, Mr. Aswe Igodalo, who is the founding partner of Banwa and Igodalo, and other erudite eggheads and captains of industries from the education sector, private sector, and public sector as speakers in our conference.
Okay, you've really taken time to invite everybody except me.
You especially, particularly, are invited.
Okay, you told us about the theme of the conference. What actually informed this theme?
Now, as a corporate institute, we have selected this theme, but you agree with me that this is even a topical issue right now, although we selected it way beforehand. More than ever before, there is the yearn for a stronger and more impactful economy. And so the conference focusing on this topic is something that we all look forward to. And we cannot underrate the issue of good governance as a bedrock of such an impactful and strong economy. And as I said earlier, we are including as that sub a case for inclusiveness. We all know that even in the increased percentages, there are divergent groups that might have been perceived marginalized as a result of maybe gender or even physical or intellectual disabilities. But all this make up the society, and all this contributes to the building of a stronger economy. So the conference is going to look into in-depth every aspect of the economy, different sectors, in order for us to take home real and practical solutions in building a better economy.
Wonderful. Before I ask the next question, let me use this opportunity to invite our viewers to be part of the conversation. We are discussing the 47th annual ICSAN conference. And as our guest have actually mentioned, said the conference is holding September 24th and September 25th, 2023, Thursday and Friday, 24th. September 24th and September 25th. And it's happening at where?
The Museum Center.
Museum Center. So if you have any question or any comment to make as far as this conference is concerned, please send it as a text message to 080-2323-1287. I take the number again, 080-2323-1287. Mrs. Anyimah, FCIS is around to give answers to your questions or to also validate your comments on this conference. You have told us the theme, what informed the theme. Of what relevance or importance is this conference to ICSAN, first and foremost, and to the country as a whole?
Thank you. ICSAN, as a corporate institute, we are always interested in knowledge sharing. We are always interested in deepening the skills of our members. And we are always interested in contributing positively to the development of our nation. And so coming up with this conference theme for us as an institute was just very topical. And it's an opportunity for us to come together and learn, rub minds, and profess strategic and practical solutions in developing and building a greater economy.
Okay, you talked about developing and building a greater economy. Are you saying or emphasizing that sound corporate governance, which ICSAN is known for, and which you are also going to talk about at the conference, would help in solving our problem as a nation, or solving whatever problems that we could have on governance issues?
Definitely. Like I mentioned before, good sound governance is the bedrock of any developed society or economy. And so no matter how much we all contribute in growing the economy, once it is not founded on the basis of good governance, it is faulty. So to develop a stronger and healthier economic system, we need to have that as a bedrock of sound corporate governance. And so that is why it is included in the theme of this conference.
Okay, as a member of the committee that is organizing the conference, I believe you are a member of the committee, the conference and AGM committee.
Sure.
Now, what are the things that you have put in place, or the efforts that you have put in place, especially to arrange a list of speakers for this conference? Tell us everything that you've done to make this conference worthwhile.
To start with, our committee is ably led by our vice president, who serves as the chairman of the conference planning committee, Mrs. Uto Okwana, FCIS. And we have come together. I'm one of such members who have devoted a lot of time, efforts in reaching out captains of industries, eggheads, people who in different sectors, as I said, the educative sector, the public sector, the private sector, can come together to develop this topic so that it can enrich us as an institute and enrich the nation at large. The committee members have worked so hard in ensuring that from behind the scenes to pre-conference activities, all these have gone on seamlessly and have been part of the conference package to make it a memorable occasion for everyone. So I want to use this opportunity to thank so much members of the committee. I want to thank the chairman of the committee, our vice president, as I earlier mentioned, who have all given up everything to ensure that the 47th ICSAN conference and annual dinner is a success.
I just received a text message immediately. The message says, it's from Lukman. He says, "Thank you for inviting us to the conference. Is it free of charge? And if it is not free of charge, how much is to be paid?"
It's a real and genuine concern. So it's not free of charge. It's a token. So, and the amount to be paid, it's all on our website. So after the whole conversation, you can just log on to our website, the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators, and you will see the category in which you qualify, and then you can be able to make payment and register for the conference. We also have pre-conference activities that are happening, and these pre-conference activities, the one coming up this Saturday is free, that you can be a part of and enjoy the program as it is.
So, look more, you've had that. Visit the ICSAN website to know how much you're supposed to pay to be part of the conference. But pre-conference activities are free.
Are free.
Okay, let's talk about the pre-conference activities. I know you have had media briefing on pre-conference on this conference, right?
Yes.
Talk to us about some of the pre-conference activities that you have actually that you have done or you are still going to engage in.
Okay, thank you. As you rightly said, yesterday we had a media pre-conference activity, and where we invited different media houses to come and learn more about the conference. And afterwards, in line with our CSR in the pre-conference activities, we visited Babs Fakunwa Memorial Millennium High School. And there we met with students, senior students, and the prefects, and then the leaders of the school's institution. And we're able to also give back and invest in their educative, facilities. We gave some textbooks that cut across different subjects in the school. It was just a very, very beautiful visit, and it was welcoming to them because we were able to impact on these young minds the need for good governance and building, strategically thinking about building a good society to be part of. As you know, our youths are not just leaders of tomorrow, they are leading now in various activities. And so it was great being with these young minds. We have another program coming up on Saturday, which is the health walk. We call it Walk for Life. We all know that a healthy mind, a healthy body makes up a healthy mind. A healthy mind contributes positively to the growth of an economy. And so we are inviting everyone to come to our National Secretariat at 7 a.m. to join us for that health walk. We are going to have health talks. We are going to have, minimal activities in terms of stretches before we now go on for the long walk, in sensitizing everybody to be active in their various capacities. So join us, that is free. And we're also giving free t-shirts and face caps for those who come so as to join us in one accord for that health walk. All these activities we have done pre-conference, all gearing up towards the conference activities on, I want to repeat again, Thursday next week, the 21st of September, and Friday, the dinner, the 22nd of September.
It's actually next week.
It's actually next week, Thursday and Friday.
This part of the program is happening this Saturday.
This Saturday on the 16th of September.
And it's taken up at what time?
So we want everyone gathered between the hours of 7 a.m. and 7:30 a.m. so that we can move en masse at 8 a.m. So we encourage everyone to be there, 7 a.m.
And it's going to start at ICSAN Secretariat.
Yes.
Okay, there is so much about this year's conference. A lot of media reports on it. What makes this conference different from the others?
As I said earlier, one, the theme, which is a topical issue for everyone. We are all yearning for a bigger, greater, stronger, and more impactful economy. Second, it's also the opportunity to learn from, rub minds, and profess strategic and practical solutions, real solutions, in which, at the end of every conference, we usually publish a communique where we will distribute to various sectors and relevant government departments and parastatals that will contribute to suggestions that they can implement in building the nation forward. We don't just leave it at that. We also follow up to see how far and how much they can implement all these professed solutions. So this year's conference is something that no one should miss. Everyone is invited from different walks of life. Everyone, be you in the private sector or in the public sector, you are all invited.
Okay, for members that are going to attend the conference, would there be credit points for attending the conference? And if there is going to be, how much of credit points would they have?
Oh, yes. So we have the credit system that contributes to, the membership build-up. And for this conference, the credit point is 7, which is one of the highest credit points we ever give for a program. 7 credit points, yes.
Wow. Okay. I know this conference is a national program, and that is why we have national committees. So how well have you involved the state chapters in, one, planning for this conference, and secondly, being part of the attendance, people that will attend the conference?
Yes. As you said, it's a national conference, so all the state chapter nationwide are involved. They were involved in our pre-conference activities, so they all zoomed in during the media briefing from different parts of the country, from the east, from the west, and from the north. They all zoomed in, even from Abuja. And then for the Walk for Life, it's going to be happening simultaneously in the different chapters. So as we are walking here in Lagos, you see other members walking in Uyo, in Enugu, in the north, in Abuja. And for those who are unable to come to Lagos physically, they are also going to join in virtually.
Okay. Let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we continue with the conversation with Mrs. Anyimah.
For the effectiveness of Board of Directors,
Sustainability of business,
importance of ethics and corporate brand,
roles and responsibilities of Chartered Secretary,
and for all that you need to know about the principles and practices of corporate governance.
Join the conversation at Corporate Governance Platform.
Showing on MITV UHF 43 and channel 255 on DSTV on Thursdays from 4:30 p.m. to 5 p.m.
Corporate Governance Platform, proudly brought to you by the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria.
ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals.
You are welcome back. It's still Corporate Governance Platform, and we are transmitting live from MITV Lagos. We're actually discussing the ICSAN 47th Annual Conference and dinner, which is taking place on the 21st and 22nd of September 2023. And I have a member of the conference committee and AGM, the committee that is planning for this conference in the studio, the person of Mrs. Nkechi, Anyimah, FCIS. And she's been talking to us about the ICSAN annual conference. Mrs. Anyimah, before we went on break, I asked a question. I want you to repeat it so that some of our viewers that are members of the conference can take this serious. Will this conference attract credit points? And if it is yes, how much of credit points will it attract for members that will attend?
As I said, the answer is yes. It attracts. And it attracts not just credit points, but one of the highest credit points we give for a program, and that is 7 credit points. Okay.
The other question is about the state involvement, because this is a national program. How well are the state chapters involved in the planning and the entire gamut of the conference itself? How well are they going to attend it? Are they part of it, or is it just something that is happening in Lagos alone?
As you rightly said, it's a national program. So it has involved all the state chapters in the nation. From the pre-conference activities, in the media conference, the state chapters were all there to zoom in and be a part of it. And even in the Walk for Life happening on Saturday, it's not just happening in Lagos, it's going to simultaneously take place in every state zone in the nation. So from Uyo to Enugu to Ibadan to Abuja and even to the north, every state chapter is involved in the Walk of Life happening at the same time. And so for the conference itself coming up next week, for those who are able to travel, they are going to be physically there. And then for others who are not able to physically travel, they will be tuning in via Zoom. And so they will contribute all their parts to the program via Zoom.
Okay, so the Work for Life program is also going to be happening in the states. As it's happening in Lagos, it's also happening in every other state where you have chapters. Simultaneously. Oh, wonderful. Now, this is very key for me because we have a lot of different conferences, a lot of resolutions. Now, what is the plan to have the resolutions at the end of this conference transmitted to the federal government? Probably we have a listening government now. What is the plan to have this conference transmitted to the federal government so that actions can be taken on the resolutions?
So as I said earlier, we usually have a communique published at the end of the conference. Okay. And so this communique is distributed to all the relevant government agencies and different sectors so as to be able to see all the strategic plans and solutions and resolutions preferred in the conference. And we not just disburse it, we even also give it to the media houses. We also follow up in the implementation. So we look at and see how well has these resolutions been implemented by the various relevant government stakeholders.
So it's going to be published so that different government agencies that are relevant will also pick ideas from those resolutions.
Definitely.
That's wonderful. Now, can you talk about, your upskilling strategies for members of the institute? We have ICSAN and you have upskilling strategies. So talk about these upskilling strategies for the benefit of our viewers.
Okay, so we regularly have training programs and workshops that are published in our website so that not just even members, non-members can avail themselves of that knowledge or building strategy. And if you go to our website, our training calendars are updated regularly. And you can also avail yourself because we use all forms of social media to circulate some of our workshops and then this conference that we are doing to be able to help our members and in fact the public in general to build up their intellectual capacity and their key skills in terms of increased knowledge, in terms of even networking, to be able to contribute more, not just to the institute, but to the nation as a whole in their different sectors. Okay,
this conference involves two things, the conference and of course the dinner. When is the dinner happening?
Now, the dinner is happening on Friday, the 22nd of September, 4 p.m. As I said, it's a dinner. And for the dinner, it's an opportunity to build and expand on your social network, to also hear one-on-one on eggheads of the industry. And it's also an opportunity for us to appreciate people who have shown excellence in governance matters. So we are using the opportunity to give different awards to different sectors of excellent governance practitioners.
Okay, we may have to go on another break. When we come back, we will wrap up our conversation with Mrs. Anyimah on the ICSAN 47th Annual Conference. Please.
For the effectiveness of Board of Directors,
sustainability of business,
importance of ethics and corporate brand,
roles and responsibilities of Chartered Secretary,
and for all that you need to know about the principles and practices of corporate governance.
Join the conversation at Corporate Governance Platform,
showing on MITV UHF 43 and channel 255 on DSTV on Thursdays from 4:30 p.m. to 5 p.m.
Corporate Governance Platform, proudly brought to you by the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria.
ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals.
You are welcome back. It's the Corporate Governance Platform, and we're about to wrap up our conversation on the ICSAN 47th Annual Conference. We still have her in the studio, Mrs. Nkechi, Anyimah, FCIS. Before we wrap up on this conversation, you talked about the chairman of the occasion, right?
Yes.
Mr. Asueni Godalo. So who are the other speakers at the conference?
So we have leaders in the education sector. We have the Vice Chancellor of the Pan-Atlantic University, who will be a speaker in the conference. We also have the Vice Chancellor of Afe Babalola University, Ado Ekiti, who will also be a speaker in the conference. And then we have leaders in the private sector. We have the Executive Director and Human Resources Leader, Mrs. Bumi Popola, FCIS, as a speaker in the conference. We also have the immediate past head of the civil service, a leader in the public sector, Mrs. Ekerobong Umo, who will also be a speaker at the conference, and each one will bring their divergent views. We also have panelists who are also leading in the private and the public sector, who will also give divergent views of this topic, so as to have a more in-depth and robust engagement at the conference.
Okay, I'm so glad that you have thought leaders from both the private and the public sector that will come and share their views on your particular theme. What is your last or the final words to the viewers about this conference? It's an opportunity to also advertise the conference.
Everyone should not miss this 47th annual conference and dinner. It is one that will be of great impact, both to you in terms of knowledge acquisition and also in terms of bringing about real solutions and practical ideas to the table to grow a more robust economy. So please come to the 47th Annual Conference and Dinner of ICSAN, coming up next week, Thursday and Friday, the 21st and 22nd of September, 2023.
Thank you very much. Coming up 21st and 22nd of September. And this is where we draw the curtain on the program. Thanks for joining. We invite you to join us again next week, same station, same time. I remain Dr. Tunde Odeyemi. Bye for now.
Thank you.
For the effectiveness of Board of Directors,
sustainability of business,
importance of ethics and corporate brand,
roles and responsibilities of Chartered Secretary,
and for all that you need to know about the principles and practices of corporate governance.
Join the conversation at Corporate Governance Platform,
showing on MITV UHF 43 and channel 255 on DSTV on Thursdays from 4:30 p.m. to 5 p.m.
Corporate Governance Platform, proudly brought to you by the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria.
ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals.